So I'll get started. I'll be talking about how do we put everything together for our initiative. So we are a startup. We are into cancer care, and we are trying to see like how can we ease the burden of cancer care, starting with the country, but how for the world. So that's what we intend to do. So slide would have helped. So one of the things that we need to see, like in India, the 2022 survey says 1 in 9 in their lifetime is prone to having cancer, and that's based on the data that is there in the ICMR registry. And as you know, the data is not that much accurate, right? So the unofficial estimates can go anyways up to 2 times or 3 times. So, which means that it won't be an exaggeration if we say 1 in 5, right? Might have a possibility of developing cancer or contracting cancer within their lifetimes in India, right? And a few days back, I was reading a news article where some leading pharmaceutical CEO said like 1 in 3 is also a possibility. So that's the menace of cancer. So yeah. So what we are imagining, what we are trying to say, what if everyone could have access to best cancer care closer to their homes, right? And why we are saying this, because traditionally if you see, cancer is, whenever somebody is detected with a cancer, somebody knows that there is cancer, they rush to the most reputed cancer care center, right? It could be the Tatas, it could be the Vellore, it could be somewhere else, right? So, but cancer treatment may not require all those things. So that's where we are trying to see. So first, numbers. If you see, 1 in 8 in India, as I talked, has the possibility of developing cancer, okay? And the survivability rate today is 50%. And most of the reason is because it's 70% is diagnosed in the later stages, right? So when people only feel there is complaints, there is severe unease, they rush to the care center, and then they are diagnosed, it's late, right? And what is contributing to all these issues is like, first of all, there is lack of awareness. People are not aware like when to reach out. Lack of infrastructure, where to go, whom to go, right? Typically, if there are issues, even the normal practitioners, general practitioners like dentists should be able to scan for oral cancers or the symptoms of it. A gynecologist should be able to scan for or screen for cervical cancer, right? Cervical cancer is the leading cause of death in women in India, for example. And then there are infrastructure, awareness issues, policy issues, a lot of things are there. So what we have also seen that while the late stage cancer, the possibility of treating is like 50% curative rate, also it's very expensive. If you detect early, treat early, it's 3 times cheaper. And the survival rate is 9 out of 10. So if you detect cancer early, if you treat it, 9 out of 10 times people will survive. So what is needed? What is needed is a proactive wellness-based approach to cancer, okay? So this is the slide that we have put in. And what we are trying to do, we are trying to build community as a cancer clinic. So we are trying to build, how do we decentralize the cancer care so that more and more people are able to access the care as early as possible. And if you see, our infrastructure does not support that. If you see, in India, there is 0.3 RT centers per million population, whereas in global standard is somewhere around, what's the number? 1.9 or something like that, right? And then the travel distance, as I told, the cancer care travel distance is on an average 8 hours, right? So how do we bridge that gap? And then majority of the cases are for treatment, and so on and so forth. So what we have designed is a layered decentralized cancer care network, which is based on different levels, like early detection, then normal treatment, then specialized treatment, and so on and so forth, right? And if you see, it's a pyramid, right? If you do earliest detection at a mass scale, then you can go further up, and it can be a lesser requirement of a specialized centers, right? And we have done this on the basis of technology platform, right? And in doing so, we realize the potential and the power of ABDM. And so if you see, talk about interoperability, here is the need for interoperability. When you are doing mass connects, when you are screening massive number of people, right? The first thing is you have to establish a unique identity of the person, right? Nothing better than Abha, right? So that's the power of Abha that we realized. And that's why now we are backing all our operations as much as possible to use Abha. And the second one was, since it is a decentralized mode, we partner with hospitals, we partner with clinics, we partner with diagnostic centers and all, right? Digital records are generated. Not everyone can be integrated, right? Or can share it, right? So we were looking for something that can be enabling at an infrastructure layer. And that's where we saw ABDM coming up with the FHR architecture, the Federated Health Record Architecture. Now we are pushing ABDM FHR for all our networks, seeing that can all our partner hospitals, partner centers be on ABDM, right, to share the records, which in itself is a challenge right now, because most of the hospitals, most of the clinics, most of the practices do not have an awareness of what is ABDM. They're not inclined, they don't have the technology bandwidth and anything like that, right? On comparison to that, along with that, we have a centralized command center which manages the things. Right? So this is what we envision as the center of the future. It will be digitally connected. All the health records will be seamlessly available on the fingertips. And there will be a constant learning and evolving system which is backed by data and research. So we aim to transform today's clinics, today's local clinics, to futuristic Karkinos care clinic for cancer. And this is the last slide, this is the care journey that we envision for a person, right? So from early detection to treatment, everything happens digitally, seamlessly, and through enabling, using the Karkinos platform. But Karkinos platform, in turn, leverages all the digital public infrastructure that is available, which is ABDM, UHI, ABHA, and so on and so forth. Here we found the use for UHI as well, because a lot of our clinics and the practitioners, they have services, they want to publish it so that others can use it, right? So those things also are very well fitting into our vision of having a seamless patient journey at Karkinos. So this is the last slide where we are trying to actually put to use what the DPIs and the ABDM and other public infrastructure that has been put to use. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think, that's really amazing to see that cancer care can also run on a digital level, and, this is really democratizing a solution which, technically everybody is scared when they discover they get cancer. So that's really awesome. I think they deserve a big round of applause for what they're doing with a very, very important area of health.